Hello, thank you for joining me. This video is going to be just for you if you want to set up a morning exercise routine to start your day, or you've tried to set up a routine in the past and you just found it difficult to get the consistency that you need. Welcome to Physio Life Skills. I'm going to show you how it works. Hello, welcome along to another Physio Life Skills video. Today is all about the morning exercise routine. If you are over 50, then you know already, most likely, that you should be doing something every morning, but you're also going to probably know by now it is really, really hard to create the consistency that you need with a morning routine to get the benefits that you need. So today in this video, I'll show you why it's important to keep consistent and have a morning routine with your exercises, how you can actually do something that actually works, and what to put in that routine to make it more effective. So as we get over 50, there are two things that we need from our morning routine. The first is to address the thing that we're all feeling. It's the joint stiffness. You're going to get up in the morning and things just won't feel as easy to move as they did. They'll feel stiffer, maybe a little bit achy and painful. And one of the things that we want from our routine is we want to start stimulating movement in the joint, because this encourages the better quality of synovial fluid. This is the joint lubricant. It is what glides the joints on each other, brings in the nutrients, creates some protection. And this is something that we want to start our day off well with. And it's just like oiling up a machine before we want to use it. The second thing we want to include is taking our joints through their full range of movement. We want to repeatedly take them through movement to stimulate the quality of that synovial fluid that we talked about earlier, but we want to use the opportunity to take the joint through its full range of movement, which in day-to-day activities we don't always do. The second reason that we want to have an exercise morning routine is that mentally you feel like you're the type of person that's going to be looking after yourself. And with my patients, that means you're going to start making better choices with food. It means you're going to start making better choices with exercise, and sometimes how you're living your life for the rest of the day. So the next thing that's probably the most important then is, how do we put something in place that is going to give us the best chance of being consistent with our exercises? And there are probably three things that I want you to think about with this. The first thing is it has to be small. If it is longer than maybe 3 minutes or so, it suddenly becomes quite difficult to do. And it's going to be a lot easier for our brains to say, well, do you know what? I haven't really got time today. I'm late for work, or I've got this bit to do, or I've got to go and look after grandchildren. So if it's too long, suddenly our brain makes an excuse why we've got other things that we need to be doing instead. If we make it small enough, then it's going to be manageable. Then it's something that we feel that that's achievable before we start our day. Pretty much the same as cleaning our teeth. And small tends to be about 3 minutes. I think if you can come up with an exercise routine that's 3 minutes long, you're more likely to get into the habit of doing it. And that's what we need to create the consistency. Now, of course, you can always add stuff onto it. So what you'll find is that if you commit to doing 3 minutes, once you're there and it's starting to feel quite good, you're probably going to maybe add a little bit more on without too much difficulty. And now the obvious question. We've established the why. We know that we need to put the exercise routine in place. We know that we want to keep it small and manageable. We know that we want to make it habitual, and we know that we probably want to have it in the morning first thing. But the next most common question that I get asked by my patients is, what do I put in my morning routine? And if you're starting a morning exercise routine for the first time, I would say there are three things that you want to think about. Number one is actually waking up the spine, waking up the joints, waking up and moving all the fluid in the spinal column. So getting all the nerves really, really healthy and gliding on each other. You're waking your spine up in preparation for the movement in the day ahead. And the last piece of the morning routine should really be targeted at whatever you need to address. Now, for some of you, it may be osteoarthritic knees. For some of you, it may be stiffness or pain in the shoulders. there will be parts of your body that will need that little bit of extra care. And in the third part of our routine, we're going to look at ways that we can target those individual things that you need to. Now with flexion and extension, really, really lovely way to wake up the spine, get the spinal cord moving, get all the facet joints of the spine moving. But one of the things that we've got to look at is trying to really encourage extension, which is this opening up of the chest, this extension of the spine, because most of our days are spent either in the car or in the front of the computer or watching TV on the sofa. It's all bending and flexion. So we at least want to start our day counteracting that with some extension movements. So the movement in this first minute is going to look like this. We start off by tucking the chin in and thinking about getting some lengthening in the top of the neck, so base of the skull. And then as we come up, we can gently lift our chin and get a little bit of tension and space under our chin. And you can just do that 2 or 3 times. Initially, you might start to see a little or feel a little bit of tension in the base of the neck. But after 2 or 3 repetitions, what you're going to find is that starts to ease, and you can gradually then come down so the chest comes in. You'll feel it a little bit further down, that stretch. Again, you'll want to come back up into extension and down and extension. You can have your hands on your lap to push up a little bit if that feels easier to push into extension. And you can increase that until you're coming all the way down into a nice curl and coming all the way up into a nice extension. So it's a beautiful way of getting the spinal cord, the spine moving, everything gliding nicely. Nice extension. And the second part of that minute is about rotation. So this is about trying to get movement around, which is something that we do less of as we get older. So it's quite important to do this early on in the day. Start off with your neck, turning to the side as far as you can go, and then bringing it back and repeat on the other side. Now, I covered this in my last video, and so you can look at this on the channel in more depth, but you can add a sneaky little way of improving that neck movement a little bit more, so it's definitely worth a try. You turn your head to the limit, and when you're getting to a point that you feel you can't go any further, you put your hand that you're turning away from on the side of your head, you push back in for 5 seconds at about 50%, and when you let go, try and turn it a little bit further, and often you find that you can get a little bit more range. So we started off with the neck movement, and then I want you to work on the mid-spine. So we can do that with arms across the chest. You can turn. You get to the end range where there feels like there's a little restriction. You take a nice breath in. As you breathe out, you can go a little bit further, and the body releases as you relax those muscles, and you can often move that a bit further. And if that feels comfortable, you can add in a little bit of a reach across to get a more dynamic movement. The second part of the routine, so we've done 2 minutes on the spine. We're now moving into the second part of the routine, which tailors this morning exercise routine just for you. So there will be parts of your body that are feeling more stiff, more restricted. So it may be that you've got some osteoarthritic changes in your knee and they're finding it a little bit stiffer or a bit more painful. It may be that that's in your shoulders. It may be that's in your hips. Now, what you do in the second part of this routine is you can start to target those specific areas that you're having a problem with, and you can put exercises that are designed for that area. Now, because you will all have different areas, what I want you to do is comment in the comment section below, whether it's hips, whether it's knees, whether it's elbows, whether it's wrists. It doesn't matter what it is, but comment in the section below as something that you're having a problem with. And what I can do is then we can make videos and show you the skills that you need or the exercises that you can do for that body part. And you can tack that into this tailored third part of the routine. And then if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get notified when those videos come through, and then you can just incorporate those in. So now we've got a basic 3-minute routine. You've got the first bit of it, the first 2 minutes, really wakening up the spine and loosening everything up. And then the second part of it, we're going to start putting together where we take the individual exercises that you need for your body and start adding those into the routine.